Boom, we're on.
We're there.
Yeah, and today's guest, we've got DIZZEE RASCAL.
Honoured, man. Honoured.
First of all, thanks for coming on the show, brother.
Yeah, like I told you, man, I'm a fan. It's crazy that I just, in the lockdown, I just come across your podcast. It's podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Naturally, I watched the nutty brother from the guy who owns the football team from Essex.
Glenn Tamplin.
Yeah. And I watched the whole thing. I was like, rah, this is going to. Then I ended up getting into just watching enough of them. Darren G. I watching enough of them. Sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
It's great
man.
to have people like yourself watching my stuff, man. It's unbelievable. Shows you how far I've come. Know what I mean?
Yo, yeah, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I dropped you a message and you say, fuck's sake, brother, I watch your stuff, man.
Yeah, random. Like I said, the fucking, the energies or whatever.
Yeah.
Real.
Synchronicities, the law of attraction.
All day,
Yeah,
man.
and that goes for anybody watching. If you believe it enough, you will manifest it.
For real. So watch what you wish for, man.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Be careful what you wish for is a very true saying. So, for a man who has nearly been in the industry for 20 years, 2003, your first album, Boy in the Corner.
Yeah.
Unbelievable album. Proper, you started the rap game in the UK, I believe.
That's crazy.
Phenomenal album. Proper, especially when you've got the Americans who were killing it at that point. You had Eminem on top, and then the UK came through at 17 years old, and now new album coming out which we'll plug straight away.
Yes, sir.
This is nearly 20 years later. Yeah, fucking plug it straight away.
Yeah.
So where can people get this album? iTunes?
Everything. We're putting it on record, tape. We're going back to the basics, man. With like everything you can think of.
Amazing, because a lot of people are saying you're going back to your roots because it's kind of the same colouring, yellow, black, the album cover.
Yeah.
Is that true? You're going
That's like
back
my
to proper
superhero
grime?
colours now, man. It's like, they know when it's black and yellow, it's going to be
game
hard.
time.
Yeah.
We'll touch on all this stuff.
Yes, sir.
Wait, I always go back to the start of my guest, brother.
Yeah, man.
Where you were born and how it all began.
Yeah. So, I'm from Bow, East London. If anyone knows where that is, just basically, if you're coming from south, it's right outside the Blackwall Tunnel, and in between Hackney and Newham, pretty much. I was raised there. I feel like I learned all my best lessons in life, or most of my best lessons in life there. Community, music, and that's where I learned music. Well, let me get into that then. So I learned music just by, say, around the early 90s, jungle, drum and bass was massive. So you just get guys that were bedroom DJs at the time. So I'll just hear it coming out of, I don't know, Gary Slater or someone on my estate. They'll be playing it, rinsing it. Just that was the thing then, innit? So then that's when I discovered pirate radio. So I'd listen to it, and I found around the times like hardcore and jungle. So that's when I got introduced to that. So then that just opened up my mind to something else, and just that's the first music I proper fell in love with. I randomly got into like heavy metal young as well. I think that was again through someone older on the estate playing it and being like, wow, what's that? And then just got into it, and then moved on to grunge or whatever, and then eventually hip hop. But hip hop would have been through, again, a friend whose big brother gave him the second Snoop Dogg album, it was the Dogfather, and then he borrowed it to me. And these times it was on tape. That's the first rap album I heard solidly. And I had a friend who played me the Bone Thugs and Harmony album, and that rinsed that out. So like I said, yeah, all my lessons in life, all my music and all that I learned where I grew up.
From a very young age.
Yeah.
I think that's where the best albums come from. The people who's kind of lived it, who's kind of seen a lot of shit in their life as well. I think that's where people get a lot of the inspiration. But you look at guys like Tupac, Snoop Dogg, they've lived a lot of life of pain and quite dark times, and I think that's where, because a bit of poetry in there as well, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I was definitely quite vivid and kind of think outside the box, especially we're talking that Boy in the Corner, and then there's all these mad sounds that I'd use and all that as well. So a lot of that came from, especially with that album, came from the guy who was my manager now anyway. He's been my manager since then anyway. But he had a studio, and he'd produced as well over the years. So he just had a collection of all different keyboards, equipment, not plugins, units, whatever. and it's had all these mad sounds. So then me, Wiley, Roll Deep, all these, like, we all used the same shit. But then when I used it, I was just on some different shit. What's that? Find the dirtiest, maddest sound.
Yeah.
And use them and play different shit and put and whatever, spit on top of it. So that's why my album just sounded like some next shit. But I was influenced by everyone you both said as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I was influenced by drum and bass and garage MCs because they gave me the pride to sound like where I'm from, because UK rappers at the time kind of sounded like they wanted to be or was trying to be American, where garage and jungle MCs were still kind of more sounded like they were from down the road. Even though they'd have a bit of that Jamaican thing to them, they still sounded local. But then at the same time, I was influenced by Tupac, Snoop and all that, as far as being an album rapper, like wanting to make albums,
a
whole body of work.
What age did you start writing for Boy in the Corner?
Oh, okay, Boy in the Corner, some of them lyrics I had from radio, so I know you're saying the album came out like 2003, but I would have written some of them lyrics like from like 2001. So
a very young age to be, that's a lyrical genius, man, that's proper shit.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Well, I learned to write bars, I learned to rap on drum and bass, so I actually had to slow down. So I basically learned, see how you came when you come met me downstairs, we were playing jungle in the car.
Yeah.
I learned that's the tempo I learned to write.
Yeah, the car was fucking shaking.
It was booming, yeah, man. And that was just for me driving. We were just driving down and think about other tunes, and then you lead on to another tune, innit? And then so drum and bass just influenced me so much. But I learned to write fast and then learned to slow down. But like I said, I was into the vivid writers. I was into Tupac, Jay-Z, the people at the time that I realised were good storytellers. Yeah, because that's where rap comes from, and as American, it's different. Nobody heard that in the UK, especially way back in kind of 2003, which was nearly 20 years ago. You opened the door for a lot of the guys now in this era too. Definitely, yeah. Do you get a lot of respect from that? Yeah, I feel like I've been given my flowers, man. I can't, you can't have it all, because like I said, it's how many years on. You got people that are smashing it now. They're over 10 years younger than me. So and they're the voice of their generation. You're the most successful rapper in the UK. I'm the most decorated. Yeah, 5 number ones. You've got 5 albums hit the top 10. You've got every British award. Yeah. I think Tiny's got more number ones. I'll give him that. Has he? Yeah. Cheeky bastard, yeah. But he's got more number ones, but I've got more awards. I've got more. I've got what? Is it 3 gold albums, 2 platinum albums? I'm all right. Yeah. How does that make you feel? How does it make me feel? No, it's always good for like. Because you live it, though, because you live it, it doesn't really feel as big as people looking from the outside. Exactly. Yeah. I heard a thing about Arsene. I'm not to this extreme. I see like Arsene Wenger. I heard that he never kept none of the trophies or nothing that in his house. Yeah. So he just kind of got on with it. I'm not quite like that. My shit's up there above the telly, like I've got a nice thing. But yeah, you don't always think about that stuff. Sometimes you're reminded. Like I just got another award recently. From Graham Daily. By the time this goes out, where you'll be all right. But it's from Graham Daily, so you always appreciate it, especially later on. Yeah. But no, it's not why you do it. The best thing, other than being able to take care of your family because of the music and that, is just people just feeling your shit. That's why you make it. Like, of course. Like from the beginning, there's like we used to pay to go on pirate radio just to be heard. Like, it was only £20, but £20 was something then, you know what I mean? £20 to go on there for the month. And you just wrote your bars, and I made beats too. So to go on there and cut them on dub or whatever, and have DJs playing them and MCs MCing on it, that's the best thing. First time hearing your shit on radio and all that. Yeah. So that's kind of still about that now. But you need the rawness, don't you? But you still need to move with the times. Yeah. But again, I still listen to Tupac near enough every day. Game, yourself. Yo, it's there, do you know what I mean? It's on my Spotify, it's there. I just started listening to Tupac again. You know why? Because sometimes the classics are just the classics. Yeah. You know? Like, you try and listen to new shit, but it's okay to just still like old shit, you know? And I've been telling myself recently, a good idea is just a good idea. Exactly. Like, it doesn't matter in 100 years. But good content stays forever. It is where it is, man. It fucking stays forever. Because them man captured, some, especially Tupac, he captured some shit that is rare now. Yeah. And I think a lot of rappers, American rappers, are terrible just now, if I'm honest.
They ain't got compared to back in the day when you had Dre, Tupac, Jay-Z.
But then it's a case
it's different, no.
But no, we're not. See, we're at that age.
I think it's because we're getting older.
Do you know it's mad? Did you ever think you'd be at that age where you'd be like, oh, like, how old are you?
36.
Oh, so you're a year older than me.
Yeah.
So we're exact same generation, but we're at that point now. Like, it was better back then. But the youths now listening to their shit.
I'm
sure
great.
they think that's the shit, innit?
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
I still think I listened to new because when I was making this album, I was trying to compare it. Like, I love my album, but there's just a sound quality in the shit that was coming out in the 90s and early 2000s again because they were using hardware, it weren't just all plugins or whatever else and all that. So I bought a bunch of keyboards and a bunch of shit now because I want a bit more natural sound. So my next shit will just will be a bit more like that. But there are differences. There are real differences, not just our old cunts. Like, you know what I mean? I get what you're saying, though. I get it.
How was your schooling? Because I know you got the name Rascal from. That's part of your name, isn't it? DIZZEE Rascal's from your schooling. Teachers used to call you a rascal.
Yeah. So looking back in hindsight, I was troublesome, but I think it was a case of whatever. Like, I guess. I'll say boredom, because now I'm older. I think everybody is wired differently, and everyone's learns differently. So, see, when you're kids, you've got the school structure, the school system, and their curriculum of how everyone is supposed to learn. And then around that, sometimes they might cater to people with a bit more special needs, or sometimes kids who are just way too smart. You had some kids, the ones they were geniuses, and they had to bring a tutor in because they were so, you know what I mean? Then everyone else is kind of just has to kind of fit into whatever's happening in it. I wasn't a kid that just fitted in easily. So sometimes I'd act up a lot. To the point where when I came to secondary school, I went to 4 schools. So, but what I did pick up from there, what I knew I always loved was music. So I actually looked forward to music so much that it got to a point that the last school I went to, I just went to music class. So I'd go to my music class before school. So 8 in the morning, I'm in there. The teacher would let me in, and it was like a back room where they had a computer because I'd already knew how to use Cubase or make beats from the school that I just got kicked out of. But now I had time to kind of really do it there. So I got to the point where before school, break time, lunchtime, and after school, I would just go into music to the point where I actually got kicked out of that school officially. But the music teacher niced me, and they let me come to school. But just come to and stay in the music class. So, yeah, that's what school ended up being.
Yeah,
like.
but I think try to fit in the box, man, and sitting at a table 95, and it's not for everyone. I was shit at school. I dogged school. I left school at 15.
But you're not thick.
Yeah.
And I said even look.
But if you're a visionary, they try and make you feel as if follow the fucking rules. If you don't know your times table, if you don't know your certain words, then you're thick, but your grades should not define you as a person.
No, exactly. And then even though when I say, you're not thick, like, it's not even meant to be disrespectful to anyone, because like, I think there was a time when they didn't even diagnose dyslexia or shit like that. And I know that some guys that like are legends, actual legends that were dyslexic at the time when they didn't know weren't even diagnosed. So they were already treated a certain way.
As dumb.
Basically, but based on what they've done, it's not possible for them to be dumb after school, you know what I'm saying? But that system wasn't for them, not to even to put down the system, because like every system, it was obviously designed at one point to kind of just get through people. I guess it's training people from 9 to 5.
I think Einstein says that I think everyone's a genius in their own rights if they believe something. And there's a man, Les Brown, who I was listening to a lot back in the day, was motivational speaker, and he says people's opinion of you doesn't have to be a reality. Because a lot of teachers say, you're dumb, you're this, you can't do this, you're going to have no career. But the most successful people in the world have.
But even that's what is the teacher there for? Why would a teacher say that to a kid? That's not acceptable, man.
I know.
That's not good enough. Exactly. Like, what are you doing? You're a grown adult. You're already out there in the world. For you to be telling the youth, there's something wrong with you, man.
There's 20 years later, you've got another album coming out. Nearly 20 years later, which I think's fucking phenomenal. I know you don't like talking about this subject, but it's a big part of your life. And I want to ask you one thing from it. When you look at guys like 50 Cent, The Game, 50 Cent was shot 9 times. The Game was shot 5 times. You were stabbed 6 times, nearly died. Do you think because you were centimetres away from death, that is why 20 years later you're still succeeding, because you know how fast your life can get took away, and you know how life is short, because these guys are still succeeding also.
No, there's a bit of that. There's a bit of that. You take. But to give myself credit, like even before that, if you think about that, I was like 16, 17 and in the studio till like 6 a.m. when, I was out and about, running around doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing as well, but not as much as I could have been. And as soon as I had the opportunity and a chance to really knuckle down and be in an environment, I was in there. So I think the drive's always been there. You know? Yeah. Like,
but that just put things into perspective that, fuck this, I'm going to succeed, even to this day. Is that a tough one?
I want to give it credit, but I don't know. I just think that
you would have still succeeded anyway.
I even have to give some credit to my mum, because grew up single mum, raised me on an estate. But I always watched my mum work. She had a normal job that she did, and then mama would do everything from be the Avon lady, Tupperware. Selling toys on Christmas.
A grafter.
Yeah, and I used to go to not too far from here. I'll go to Slough. There's like industrial. What do you call it? Industrial fucking complex thing, whatever. Where there's wholesalers. I used to go and get clothes and bring them back to the estate and take me around with her and go and sell them. Like she's going wholesale. Yeah, go and sell them on the estate. Then I picked it up. Then I start going there by myself. Like from both. Like everyone knows it's quite a far distance to be doing at like 14, 15, whatever. So I always had drive. So it's like I said, and for me to be in the studio, like that with Cage and all that, and be there. Like I said, until early hours of the morning, I'll be there. I'll get there with my mates sometimes, and then they'll go. I'll be there all the way through the night. And these times, the first one was in Deptford. Then we moved to Bermondsey. Boy in the Corner was made in Bermondsey and Sheffield, randomly enough. Part of it, yeah. But when we was in Bermondsey, so in Cage, I'll be there in Bermondsey, then he'll drop me back to Bow, go through the other house, and then go back to where he was going, and we'll go and do the same thing thereafter. So the drive's always the stabbing thing probably made me like just look around me more, and
question things,
question people, and you know what? And then even 2 years later, I actually looking back on it now, that was a bit of some bitch boy shit went on. Yeah, like people that were older than me that like. And you stay, and you can't say certain things to people and explain it without sounding like you're being bitter yourself. But it's actually some fuckeries. Like,
yeah, of course, and no matter, you'll still get this to this day. But that kind of stuff just makes you more aware. I believe that's from early. You question everything. But the only thing is your trust issues goes. And I always say this: I don't fucking trust anyone, because the more successful I'm becoming, I'm realising the more sharks that are swimming around me want me to fuck up.
Nah, it gets like that and it doesn't stop. And sometimes you have to just take your mind away from that and just like, I have to remind myself to just enjoy what I do, because at the end of the day, I actually got rich and famous off my hobby. Yeah. Like for real. Yeah. So every now and then I have to tell myself to breathe. Like you're like focused guy, innit? And you just want to... You don't want no chinks in your armor. You just don't want no L's. You just want to think forward all the time, innit? Yeah. But then sometimes you have to remind yourself, like, right, you already won. Like from where you're from and what you've done, or you know what I mean, where you got yourself. Like sometimes it's down to you. Everyone ain't always out to get you. Some people, you know what? One thing I'll never forget. Richard Russell said to me once. He said we was in the thing, and I was going on about something, and he said, people tend to really care more mainly about themselves or what they think. Really, he's basically like telling me, get over yourself a bit. Yeah. There's a bit of that. Yeah. But basically, I thought about it's true. Most people actually just care about what they've go and look at the comments on Twitter. When people leave comments and thing on there, what are they doing? They want everyone to see what they think.
Yeah.
That's where it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I get it, man. And again, it's to focus on you, because I always say, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So I don't give it too much attention. But to be successful is a lonely journey as well. See, after your first album dropped, did you distance yourself from a lot of friends, or were you still with the same group?
I distance, but you see, as a kid, you have different pockets of friends.
Yeah.
So because I was doing music, what tends to happen, which carried on for a while, is that you're around your friends who are around in the day. And at that, hey, who's around in the day? They're usually up to no good.
Yeah.
So you've got that circle of friends, and then eventually, sometimes you end up falling out with them because whatever they're just doing, what they're doing, and their nature's kind of to fall out of each other anyway because of the type of shit they're doing. It's like drugs in it. It's very snaky, innit? So just that fuck shit is just there anyway. And then guys not understanding that they can't come with you everywhere. So then you end up just becoming a target. people think you're doing all right, you're getting it, and you're not bringing them in and all that kind of stuff there. But it's like, well, you don't even do what I do. So
Why do people feel as if you owe them something? Do you get that?
No, there's always been a bit of that, and that's even when I was helping. I was always dishing people. Do you know what the problem is? It's when you stop. It's not even so much the not doing. It's when you stop. There's always going to be people that feel like you don't do nothing for them. But who the fuck? When have I ever done anything? Like what are you on about? But then there's the people that you've always done things for, done stuff for. It's when you stop. That's when you see the problems. That's when problems start. So I've always thought like, the hardest rappers, the ones the most hard. Whoever thinks the most hard. Sometimes they've got it the hardest. Because eventually, as gangsters, as whatever as they are, you got the looniest people around you, and you're gonna have to cut some of them loose. It's just it's just nature. Yeah, it's just the nature of you. As your thing gets better and as your life gets better, the music industry, there's some dark parts of it.
Yeah, why do you think that is like gangster? Why do you think it's rap is identified like gangster rap? Why does it get that reputation? Do you think?
No, because it's just natural. Same way with grime or garage or jungle, any of these things. Like you're coming from an underground settlement, underground settlement, you know. Yeah. No, you're just coming from an underground thing where who put on the rate? Okay, so pirate radio. My thing comes from pirate radio and raves. Who put on the raves and who built the stations? Just like usually drug dealers. if we're being real, the whole thing is that either most of our MCs are drug dealers or the DJs are drug dealers. Or it is where it is. Most things are coming from council estates. Yeah. So council estate, just like the schemes or whatever, it's poverty. Like it's working class, so that's not that that's all that's going on there, because we know full well that's not. Yeah. I feel like most people are just trying to get on with it, innit? But there's more temptation to do bad. No, I don't even want to say that, because there's a lot of rich people doing some fuck shit as well. Let me get back to my point though anyway. But the whole gangster thing around, I guess, urban music or whatever, it's just like
it comes from the American side of things, like Tupac, Biggie shootings and stuff. I
think that's a society. Well, no, because gangster shit has been in the music industry anywhere where there's money, man. Like what Frank Sinatra and that up to. Yeah. No one talks about that.
Yeah,
that
the mafia.
Come on, bro. It's like,
proper.
Come on. Yeah. Like they fucking gangster shit in the music industry, like they played a big part of that. They were the kind of beginning of a lot of that.
Yeah, the Vegas stuff.
It's always been that. Yeah. Like,
because even Tupac, he was never a gangster. He was into arts, acting, poetry.
Yeah, but anyone who's even rapping is an art. So it doesn't matter how you could be rapping in the booth with an AK. But what you're doing is no different really to, like, even if you murder someone in the booth and you're rapping about it, it's still art. Yeah. Just whatever, any storytelling, any kind of thing, it's there to dish that and entertain, to move people. Like that's and because look at the majority of people into gangster rap, they're not gangsters, are they? They couldn't possibly carry it if it was just down to gangsters into gangster rap. Just the same as movies. If it was just down to who reads crime or thrillers like books and all of that. It's not just you know what I mean, like.
Saying that, I know a few people who's watched Scarface and they think they're a fucking gangster.
Scarface, you know, this thing, Scarface was mad to me. Scarface, because I watched it later on in life. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was old enough to say, I don't understand what the bit, like, he's an idiot. He fucked up everything. Like,
killed?
His mum hated him. He got his sister fucked. He got his best mate fucked, and his missus hated him. And then everyone come to shoot him. And the one bit that everyone holds on to is like, but he went out like a G. That's it. It's like, oh, cool.
But you tend to see drugs do that to people. Fucks their mind. They feel untouchable. Been there myself. So when you started after the first album, how did you deal with the fame? Boy from the streets, changing his life, becoming successful at a very young age. How did you deal with that? Because you seem very level-headed, even with your interviews. You don't fuck about. You speak the way you want. Your words will never get twisted. So how did you learn to be quite level-headed? How did you deal with the fame at the start?
I think some of it because I did get to watch Pay As You Go, Maxwell, So Solid to an extent, and More Fire Crew. I remember I came directly after. But I was around, especially, like I said, More Fire Crew, Repair As You Go. So I watched what happened. I watched guys try to extort guys. like on all of the like the dark shit. I saw it for myself, so I learned how to just be low key. That's what you have to do. Don't flash. And a lot of it was people they knew that were onto them, as well as just whatever citywide or nationwide. You go to a place, whoever's the guys there, trying to make themselves known. We're all used to that, innit? That's normal. You go to a place, guys want to make themselves known. They have become friends or they're onto you. It is what it is. But I just learn to I try not to attract too much attention to me early. To the extent where it's mad. You see my first video, I Love You, I didn't want to be in the video. I was because like I said, on Pirate Radio, people didn't even know what we looked like. And then we do these raves and the tape packs went around. Even with the Pirate Radio, it was tapes that travelled across the city, then travelled across the country. But our faces weren't known, so I was used to that, and I liked it. Yeah, that means I wasn't getting stopped everywhere or whatever. But later on, it's time to be in videos. I didn't want to do it, but overall, I just laid low, and I just always tried to just don't say too much or just try attract unnecessary attention.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to try and. A private life's the best life, I believe. I think that's where a lot of people fail because they chase the fame, the attention. They feel as if
because they don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's bullshit, man.
Yeah, a majority of it.
Yeah,
it is like a lot of unnecessary stuff. And then this whole thing about you and people expecting you to be a role model. But I don't know. But they're not there. When I was younger, the type of attention I'd attract was like you just be like in a like you'll be mind your own business and get into a situation like gets dangerous just because. But you're expected to just still be like a role model. Like and like I said, that's what happened with a lot of people before me. Like because there's still that attack. Even if you're moving on the right path, there's still that element of whatever the streets or whatever a bunch of people that are not looking at you like that, or they're just looking at you as food, or like so you constantly have to deal with that too whilst being in the public eye. So when all that did happen to me and I did blow up around the first time around, like it was a bit mad because at the same I was kind of the blueprint as well, because I'd only one that kind of out of those groups that I named that kept going as a solo artist onto the next album and onto the next album, onto the next. There was nothing before me for me to look to for guidance as far as moving forward.
Do you feel as if a lot of pressure comes on you then because you became the blueprint? Because if a lot of people are watching you for inspiration and you fuck up, then it can put out someone else's light. Or, do you know what I mean? It's like you were the front runner from such a to produce album after album after album. There's a lot more pressure come on your shoulders then to release the second album, the third album.
I think that was my own pressure. Seeing even like when you're saying about after I got stabbed, I came back from Napa. I went to the studio. Like I was still like I'd had the stitches taken out, and I was skinny. I weren't in a great state. Went back to the estate, see everyone. Like, they thought I was dead. Like I just whatever, chatting to everyone, but then I got back into the mode. I think I've just got an obsession with the music side. So all that extra stuff that you're talking about, all those outside elements of all the pressure of all that, there's that in there as well. But the main pressure, was just like I just wanted to be the fucking guy. When it came to like it just wrapped it, I wanted to make the best shit, have it out, and have the biggest shit out. Like I think that's what really drove me.
Yeah. So that's when you feel most alive, when you're in the booth or writing music.
I fucking hate recording. I'm not gonna lie. Like, cause it's actually quite. If you're doing it for it's quite tiring. Like, I'm gonna do that when I'm disciplined. It's like, I didn't like that take. I have to do it again.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, I'll be angry with myself when because you see, like, once you're in the vibe, you have to catch it.
Yeah.
And that's what people like Tupac were good at. Like, when you hear the vibe, you hear they caught a moment.
Yeah.
So but doing that sometimes you haven't got the energy, you haven't got like your energy's ain't there.
Yeah,
so
it just feels right.
I feel better making a beat, and then there's times like for years I weren't inspired. I stopped making beats after my third album. Up until 2017 is when I started making beats again. So for a whole bunch of years I just didn't.
But do you feel as if that's good though, to re-energise and get away from it all and just enjoy your life as well? Because I'm a workhorse. I'm scared to take a step back in case I lose it all. So I kind of need to keep, like the first few years I think is a non-stop hustle. I just feel as if I don't want to stop because there's always somebody try to work harder, but I don't believe anybody's working harder than me. Do you feel as if that break though re-energised you to go, well, fuck it, it's game time again?
Well, I was fucking around in Miami and Caribbean and
Sorry,
LA
then,
and
innit?
Texas and all that. And things like, which I'd been, it's crazy because I went to America like in 2003 the first time and would go over there to tour and do all my promo and all that. And have some fun, but not like when I went there in 2009 up until whatever,
you went promoting,
2007,
fuck
where I
off.
was just like, just enjoying myself, still making music and that. But so I understand about sometimes just having a breather and that, like, and just enjoying and just doing things for yourself. I was out there by myself, so I made a whole new bunch of friends, got a whole nother life out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you do want to come back, you get back to the grind, like see what's important. Things have changed. The game's bigger than it's ever been. You know what I mean? A whole bunch of new rappers, whole bunch of new youth, next generation, new sounds. And it's like, oh shit, okay. And that's where, see I was saying earlier on about what you've done in the past is cool, legendary, been given your flowers. But it's not enough fuel to drive me and keep me cool today.
Yeah.
It's just done. It's cool if you put something out, smash it today, then you can add it to all of that.
Yeah.
Right? And you know what I mean? But until that's I need to grind, you know what I mean?
But people make one album, they think they fucking made it, and then you don't hear from it ever again, or one single.
That happens, yeah.
You're 7 albums deep, man.
But you know what I learned as well? I learned that it's actually okay. One year, I think I was in Serbia. I'm sure it was Serbia, somewhere like that. When that part of Europe just kind of just started opening up to festivals, and now it's the thing. You got Outlook Festival, Croatia, like that's a thing now. But we were going there just as they kind of opened it up, and it was like, I was at a festival, and there's like a Indian guy come up to me, and he goes, "DIZZEE, what's good?" He had dreadlocks. I'm like, oh, what's happening, man? He's like, yo, it's me, man. So it's like, he said, yeah, bro, yeah. It's Apache Indian. I was like, Apache Indian? I was like, oh, fucking Apache Indian. Why in your body? Remember that back in the day? Yeah. I remember, because when I was a kid, Boom Shakalaka, it was massive on the telly, you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, rah. And like, he was there, like, he was like, I was a Rastafarian now, he had a whole roots band, like, said cool and all that, and kind of had a nice chat, left it at that. And I thought about it, it's like, rah, that guy's got one song that I know of. He might have had some others, I don't know, but he had one song and he's still traveling. We're in Serbia. It's not like we're in England, we're in Serbia. So that means he's traveling the world, have at least, I don't know how many years, but at least 15 or something years later, probably. So it's like, okay, you can actually live off one tune.
Yeah.
Like you can. He seemed all right. You know what I mean? He seemed all right. So every time I put too much pressure on myself, sometimes I remember that. It's all right.
Yeah.
You're good.
Even if you didn't release any albums, you could still travel the world and sing your songs. Because the Tongue in Cheek album was a fucking monster.
Went mad.
Monster.
Yeah, man. Went mad. And that was like really was the biggest I took a chance. It was a big gamble. You
kind of changed up the sound and the mixing and everything was different. But why do you think people related to the? It's a bit because it was bonkers. It was fucking kind of, but it's genius as well.
You know what? I want to sit here and say, it's cause of that. But you know, the God honest truth is, I don't really know the answer. I just know if I base it off what I see it do to people when I'm at a show. And how people jump up and react. Only they could tell me, but I just know what their actions are telling me. That they are just jumping up, going mad, and they're just letting loose all inhibitions. They know all the words and they go off. I guess it's an event. Each one of those songs is like whatever, Dance With Me, Holiday, Bonkers, especially those three. They're like an event. It is like kind of euphoric, and it's a bring everyone together. They bring everyone together songs. But it wasn't like I was making like I need to go pop now. It weren't really like that. The first one that came was Dance With Me. So that came off the back of, I just said I had 3 gold albums. So I was signed to XL Recordings, which they're an indie label, but they're a huge one. Probably the biggest in the UK. It's them and Domino, I think. Well, I think XL might be bigger. So I was done. And so it's about the re-up, because I'd done my 3 albums, about the re-up. what happened was, whilst making that last album, I saw a Calvin Harris song on the TV. It was acceptable in the 80s. Yeah. And for whatever anyone thinks about what Calvin Harris has done in the last few years, which is fucking huge anyway, but it's like some people, it's really mainstream, innit? It become the mainstream. Except when the 80s, nothing sounded like that on the radio, on the TV or the radio at that time. It was perky, you had those synths. It was almost like some 80s music, like it was really quirky. And I was like, rah, what, yo, who's that? What's that? And I was like, right, it'd be sick if I could get a MC on one of his beats, like on a beat like that. That'd be good. And I thought about it and I kind of just had it in the back of my mind. Then he made another song with the Mitchell brothers. At the time they were called the Mitchell brothers, where some from Forest Gate. And when I saw that, it wasn't a massive tune, but it had rappers on it. And that's when I said, yeah, like, you can rap on these songs. So I met him at Radio One big weekend. And I said, I approached him like, yo, like, I love, like, you're sick. I love what you're doing. It would have went something like that. I don't know exactly what I said, but like, yeah, like basically, let's work. Let's do something. It'd be cool, innit? So then, I don't think sent a few ideas. I can't remember what happened. But I ended up writing those lyrics on Dance to Me to another beat that I got sent by another dance group, or I can't remember who it was. Groove Armada, I think. And then my managers heard it, was like, yo, this good. They think these lyrics will go better on something else. That's when I got Calvin to send me something. Sent me that beat, practiced the words on them, that to go and re-record them, got the singer in, blah, 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 all the rest is history and all that. But that was how I went, that got into, that's what started that album.
But it's a game changer as well, isn't it? But again, it's fucking scary to take risks.
Yeah, and it's not like, I think I tried to make a pop attempt before on my second album. I got a song called Stand Up Tall, but it was still coming from an underground
vibe. Yeah,
because if you listen to Stand Up Tall, the drums are actually, if anyone knows a tune called Pulse X, it goes bong, ch, bong, bong, ch. It was big on the underground. All the MCs used to MC on it. Some people would say that like that kind of birthed grime. There's kind of the 8-bar switch, right? But so that was a big tune, yeah. But for the record, I birthed grime. Just, cool. Yeah, but Stand Up Tall was like a pop version of that, but was made by the guy who made Pulse X. So I guess that was the first time I tried to make like a poppy kind of tune, and it did well. I'm sure it was like number 10 in the charts, and that was good for me at that time. I was only on my second album, like I said. But then fast forward to Dance to Me, and then Bonkers just came randomly. I didn't ask for that. I was in Denver, so I was doing like an American tour, and I was in Denver in a hotel. I was in the hotel because we'd come back, and the show had actually been cancelled for whatever reason. And I got sent it, listened to it, and it had the Bonkers on it. And I remember thinking, oh, right, this sounds like the music I hated when I was a kid. I didn't like house music or that poppy house shit that you used to see on the telly, like on Top of the Pops and all that. Sash, encore fois. That's what I used to think. You know what I mean? I didn't like that. But by this time, it's like 2008, 2009, something like that, late 2008. And I'd been to Ibiza. By now, I'd been to Ibiza now, partied, enjoyed, understood.
The music.
I'm like, okay. I'd never been in a setting before to get it and understand it. So that's how I was able to rap Bonkers, like not even write it
That
down.
still gets played everywhere, even
Crazy.
to this day, mate.
Yo.
Fucking nuts.
Man, did it at the Olympics.
Yeah. So see, when you were writing that, and then it's all done, produced, do you listen to it and go, this is going to be a fucking banger?
Nah.
Was there any sort of...
Nah. I wrote it. I didn't even write it down. I just remembered it because it's that easy. And came back to England, recorded it, and then didn't even think about it again. Because I didn't think it was that good.
That's mad, isn't it?
Because it was too far from what I was doing, I guess. Maybe I even had to think
where
about
you
it
started.
Like that kind of, I'm not sure about that. I just knew it banged. It was like not something I would have tried to make. It's just that I knew who Armin van Helden was because of, again, like...
Ibiza.
Yeah, no, but even before that, he had the tune, what's it called? Gotta Be... What's the big tune he had?
Gotta
You
Be...
Don't Even Know Me. And because that used to be on the box every fucking day. Remember the box, the music channel?
Yeah.
So I remember the video, and it's like, oh shit, that's Armin van Helden. Yeah, I'll do a song with him. Went until like a few months later. Yeah, a few months later, my manager said like, you're gonna want that on your album, yeah? I said, what, you think? And he said, yeah, like, you're gonna want that. Like, all right, cool. It wasn't until I was doing a UK tour and I just played it. I'm sure, I played it. Was it Dancing Me? I played it. Yeah, I played Bonkers at the end, just at the end of my show, just to here's another tune you got. Yeah, like, we see what you're saying.
So you weren't feeling it at all?
No, in fact, I'd already had, Dance With Me had already been number one.
Yeah.
So we was in Liverpool, we played it, and it went mad. And I'd never seen a song that of mine being played to a crowd for the first time and then be like the climax of the whole night.
The response.
And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like we knew that, okay. And yeah, it was number one.
That's phenomenal. Fucking great tune. Great tune. Crazy. How do you feel? How's Calvin Harris? Good Scottishman?
Fucking hell. When I'm talking about, I was just going out having fun, fucking about in America. So I'd go and see him. So I'll go LA. He's living in Bel Air. Go to the house. All right, this is how you're moving. I like it. And he's got the Dreams studio set up that he built himself. Like, you go there, you comes down in the golf buggy, the golf cart thing, whatever, takes you out there, man, and then you jam him for a bit. And then he had the Vegas residency. So then it's like, let's go Vegas, I want to come with y'all. Like, go there, drive to, I can't remember what airport it was, when it's the one just that, is it Van Nuys? I can't remember. We just go there, get on his jet. I'm sure it was his jet. Get on the jet, fly to Vegas, go for the hotel, the different entrance. He's got the different room. He's got the, like, I mean, like, oh, you need to spend $1 million if you need to be betting $1 million to get anywhere near this thing. And I don't gamble, so I don't even know that side of it. But I knew it was where the big boys play. Went backstage, just saw what he was doing, looking around like, fuck, this is like, and just understanding the money and just all the moves that was being made around this whole thing. Because really, what are they doing? They just EDM just caught on to them in America, and they just managed to fucking just give shitloads of money to DJs to sell out, way overpriced tables to whatever oligarchs and whoever else, like, who don't even really give a shit. Like, just want to go out or whatever because they can, innit? And then we'll just get the jet back. So we just like literally go about 35 minutes on the jet to work, do the thing, hour and a half, 2 hours, and come back. That's how he's living. Like,
fucking fair play. He's a superstar. Crazy. He's a superstar.
Nah, crazy.
For where he's came from to what he's succeeding now is unbelievable. I think that's also good business for you. It's good strategies. Everything's levels. So for you to go, right, I'm going to get him, guys like Robbie Williams as well, working with these kind of people just enhances your shit as well, and to put it together and create bangers as well shows the talent and the craft and the visualisation and the fact to take risks is great.
Yeah, and also sometimes I just want to see what I can get away with, innit? There's a bit. I want to just take all of that praise and like, he's right. I'm a fucking genius. But then sometimes, it's just that, like, what can I get away with? Yeah. And that's why I've done some things where people are like, what the fuck is he doing? Like,
push your boundaries. Push the fucking boundaries.
But then sometimes it ain't even always about the music. Sometimes it's about where the music takes you. Because like you said with Robbie Williams, okay, then. He actually wanted me on Rude Box years before that, and I wasn't ready. But
why?
I just, at that time, I wasn't ready to be on Rude Box. I heard it, and I wasn't ready. I weren't ready. But then we did our tune, and then we actually went to... He wasn't supposed to be on the tune, actually. I recorded that song in LA, and Example was supposed to do it. And then he couldn't sing it at the time. I can't remember why he couldn't sing it. And then so we had no one to sing it. And then somewhere out of the blue moon, I said something about, Robbie Williams is around. I said, Robbie Williams, like, yeah, like, that's mad. Like, Robbie Williams on the train, that'll be mad. So then I went to his house, and at the time, he was living in one of his fucking 4 or 5 mansions. Yeah. But this house he was in, I think it was Ringo Starr's old house. And Paris Hilton and Slash were his neighbours. I remember that. I remember, just being in the yard. He had his own studio. He showed me about his car, showed me a bunch of stuff. We talked about Tupac and hip hop because he's a massive Tupac man. Then I saw the photo of him and Tupac at the Versace party. I was like, oh shit, like you partied with Tupac, like shit like that. Yeah, like if you ever get Robbie Williams,
he's him on. He's a big fan of the podcast.
I can imagine that. I can imagine that. Yeah, it'll tell you anything about rap music. Trust me, he knows his shit. Because he's a brother from the ends, really, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a fucking megastar, absolute megastar.
He is, yeah, but he's still as big as he is. He's like. He's from normal boy from a council
estate, of course, man. He's had his problems as well. He's changed them, and he's very big into like conspiracies, aliens, and fucking.
He told me, that he Take That did a massive concert, I don't know if it was Nebworth or somewhere mad where it was huge, and he said the vibe was so mad, so big. He looked up, he said the aliens were above the flying saucers.
Yeah.
He told me that.
Was he taking drugs at the time?
He wasn't taking drugs at the time. He told me about, I don't know if I'm supposed to say. He definitely told me that he definitely spent a few months in the back of his garden, like eat up or whatever the fuck. He's done a lot of mad things, and he told me there was a ghost in his house as well. And he asked Ringo about it. He said, "Oh yeah, it's there. It comes in every now and then." He told me a bunch of mad shit. He told me a bunch of mad. But my point, going back to my point, was that I got to see how someone that it's not like Take That wasn't the biggest thing when I was growing up. I got to see that someone in a similar position to mine as well, someone who got big, young, obviously went to crazy heights, but big, young, what it looks like at the heights to the point where he's living amongst big American superstars and like it's huge, fucking gets $1 million for a wedding song, sing, like, you know what I mean? Shit like that. So that was almost as important as music. I got to see that, so I got to get more background. Like I said, there was no blueprint for me coming up as a successful rapper, no one else for me to look at, no stars for me to look at. There was no one like me. So being introduced to that kind of life and seeing that, even though like I said, I had a bunch of number ones by then anyway, but it was nice to see that, okay, someone who's been huge, him telling me about some of the pitfalls he's been through and like some of the stuff he's seen and all the crazy shit and all that. It's like, rah, fucking hell. So, okay, that's available too if you want it. You might want to steer away from some of it, but this is a guy that's seen it all, has been super honest with you. Like, you that's, and the music took me there. That might have stopped me doing some shit that might have destroyed me today. Yeah. You know what I mean? And God willing, he's still blessed. He's super blessed. Yeah. Fucking Lord. What's his biggest problem? He's fucking arguing with Jimmy Page or some shit about that, about building the fucking thing in like across Holland Park in one of his other fucking mansions. It's blessed. Like.
Yeah, he seems a right good guy because you've rubbed shoulders with superstars like Pharrell Williams. What's he like?
Pharrell, oh my God. He's one of them dudes I always bumped into over the years. Like, he'd be one of the first Americans to like bring me out on stage, like in like 2005 or whatever. He was doing it from then. Did it in England. Did it in Denmark.
He's like fucking Benjamin Button, man. He ain't got any older.
Definitely, but he's definitely done some bullshit as well. Sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. We was in Miami once. I think I see him. I see him out somewhere, and he said, "Yo, look, I was get in the studio." So we got in the studio, and there's an artist called Yuna, who's huge, a Malaysian artist. I remember, he just did. He was no big deal, but it's that one of like, what did he say? We was in there, and said, "Yo, I'm like, nah." So I'm thinking of Will.i.am. A situation happened with Will.i.am. But this thing with Will.i.am was in the studio with him. He was producing the tune. We did a tune together. No, he didn't produce a tune. I'm all over the place, bro.
That's okay.
I'm tired. Shit. What happened with Will.i.am? We made a tune. I made a tune. I wanted to vocal it, so I went studio, and he was there dancing around the tune, going like he's a bit wacky and that. Then he gave me this whole speech about I'm not one of them producers that likes to, I like to be there when it's being done. I like to be there. So then, cool. So I recorded the thing, got down to what I was doing, came out, he'd fucked off. That's why I got muddled off, because the first time that happened to me was Pharrell. I was in the studio, said, do this. Yo, it's dope. Cool, just do this bit. I've did it. I've come out, and Pharrell's fucked off. No one to be seen. and I'm not allowed to take the music. That wound me up.
Yeah.
All that
Where the fuck did it go?
Was that we say?
Where did it go?
I don't know. But just to bring more context to it, I remember I was doing a TV show called Must Be the Music with Jamie Cullum. And I told him about it, and then he started telling me about a story. He was in the studio for real. and they were recording something, and they were watching basketball, and the same thing. He was doing his thing, and then Pharrell said, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna be back in a minute, man. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. It's dope, whatever." Like that. He said, "Yeah, cool." So he was there, and it's like it'd been a little while, and James was like, "Yo, like, I wonder where Pharrell is. Is he like, where is he? Hello, where's Pharrell? He'll be back. And I think he said it was a little while, and then he looked up on the telly, and Pharrell was there at the game. And just kind of left him there, shit like that, yeah.
There's phenomenal names, though. To be working with these kind of people is unbelievable as well.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, I'm not going to lie, there's been other people that has been like, maybe not as big, but like better experiences as far as making music with them,
yeah. 2010, you won a Brit Award.
Yeah.
Best Male. Phenomenal award.
That was crazy.
Up against two Scotsmen as well, Paolo Nutini and Calvin Harris. But I think Robbie Williams as well.
Yeah, but you know what? It was more of, you know, it meant more because I'd been nominated a couple times, but it was like for the urban or those kind of categories.
Yeah, for your first few albums.
Yeah, but it's the fact that it was those categories, urban category. But this one was just like best British male.
The biggest.
Yeah, so that was like raw. And like I said, it was a time where I was independent. So
you didn't get signed after your first 3 albums? Like you didn't?
Nah, I don't think I mentioned that in the story. That was the point. So when Dance With Me, I should have said that. I was waffling on. But basically, they didn't want Dance With Me because I don't think they was feeling the direction, and they weren't giving me the money that I wanted. I felt like I wanted more money naturally, whatever, innit. I feel like I'd earned it. So we ended up putting out Dance With Me independently, just like before I got a record deal with them in the first place. We used to basically press up white labels, press up records and take them to the record shop. So I thought it would be like going back to how it was when I was 17. So when I did go number one, whatever, with that album, I was a proper independent artist. I wasn't signed to anyone.
So it worked in your favour? It worked in your favour then?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a fuck you kind of thing, innit?
Nah, it's just more money kind of thing, innit? Yeah, basically.
How was it? Did you feel as if when you won your Brit, though, your awards don't make you as a person, but to win the Best Male against some superstars, did you feel as if that was you properly arrived on music scene, or did you feel as if you'd already achieved a lot before that?
No, I definitely felt like I'd achieved a lot. It was just the way it happened.
Did you expect that?
I weren't sure because I'd been there a few times and not won. I'd been nominated, a few times and not won. But to win it like that after a string of number ones, this time I had 4 number ones on the album. I had 5 number ones, but 4 of them was on the album. And then I did that big performance with Florence. No, I hadn't had 4 number ones yet because that song that I did with Florence ended up going to number 2. I'd had 4 number ones.
Yeah.
It was 4 number ones because that came after. But I didn't expect to win it because the way the Brits is, it's all the majors, innit?
Yeah.
Basically, so it feels like one of them things where they kind of dish it out to each other. So I wasn't expecting me just as an artist with not signed to any of them, with just on my own label, to be getting the biggest Brit. Well, the biggest Brit.
They can win biggest category.
Like,
Best Male.
After having all that success, so that it was kind of mad. So I went back. But after I won it, it was like it's amazing because then we got the Mercury, the Ivor Novello, Brit Award. Like, those are the 3 like kind of, you could say, most important British awards.
So what was it like then taking your break for a few years? Why did you make that decision?
What was that about? So the next album was the 5th. That was the one where I had Robbie Williams on it.
Yeah.
That came out, in 2013? I think, I just went to America. It's the first time I went to America to make an album as well. So there was that, was hopping around. And I just done so much work back to back, so I think I just was kind of enjoying myself in between. Then I put out an EP, and I put out another album. But again, I was serious about it, but I wasn't here a lot. And I was just kind of wondering even if I even wanted to come back and live in England. It's the first time when I thought about living somewhere else.
Why?
Like fully.
A lot of fame and attention.
Yeah, I'd been through so much, like psychologically, like I said, just all those things I had to deal with from young. And then I got famous, because I feel like I was popular at the beginning, but then like after winning the Brit Awards and all that, like you're famous. Oh, lady in the bank knows who you are. Like, you can't identify who's gonna recognize you, innit? And it's mainly love by then. It can be a bit overwhelming. Yeah. So at the end of 2009, I went on holiday. I ended up going to Miami because I couldn't go to Antigua, and I just remember just walking to the beach every day and just feeling free. And I think that's what kept me over there. And I was supposed to go for 2 weeks. I ended up staying for a few months and then just kept going back all year, then bought a place. So, and then from there, I got friends that will come and see me from Houston, and then they'll go Houston, like Bun B and all that. I'll go Houston, go back and forth. Then I started going to New York again. But I never used to go New York on my own. I used to go to New York and LA just for work. So I'll go with the label, manager, all this thing, do promo and have a bit of free time out there. But then I started going to all these places by myself, making new friends, then going Vegas, then going Grand Cayman, and going Jamaica, and going all these places on my own and just enjoying them differently. And the other thing, growing up, I wasn't a raver. So I'd still get to go West End and all that, but I didn't enjoy it. Like, not really. I enjoyed some of it or whatever. But and we'd go on tour, do bits and bobs and all that, but it wasn't, it didn't feel free. We still had to keep look about what's happening and all that. Like, as if I'm in England, any part of it, you still have to just keep looking about, innit? When I went Ibiza, that's when I started enjoying like that different kind of party and house music and like, everyone's different and the vibe's different. Like, okay, like it's nice. And when I started going to America and all that, that's when I started going to like the type of like, okay, this was the time everyone's like turn up. It was like turning up and all that. Started just doing all the shit that I see in the rap videos.
But you're still young,
in that
man.
Environment.
You're still fucking young.
I know. Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
So that's why I'm glad that I was able to
take
do
the
it my own accord, but not go too far to the point where I come back and I'm a wreck and I'm fucked. I don't know what I'm doing.
Burn yourself out. Yeah, I think the break probably done you the world of good.
No, definitely.
How's your family must be proud of you?
Yeah, definitely. And that's the best thing, being able to just take care of stuff. You know what I mean? Take care of your people. Them.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing in life. That's why you've got to keep pushing forward to keep succeeding and.
That helps, knowing that you can do that.
Yeah, you can take them on holiday when you feel like, and
time is the most important thing, man. Because there's been times definitely where you think just. I've obviously gone through a phase where you think you can just pay for everything and just give people money or they want that, just give them that. But sometimes your time. Is more important.
Yeah, money can't buy time, and it's a precious thing to be able to enjoy life, and I think that's the thing, balance.
It's the memories, man.
Yeah, memories you last for a lifetime, I believe, and they last forever. Some good, some bad, but I believe the bad ones make us who we are today.
Oh, definitely. I've got some bad memories that I can laugh about now. And then people have been, sometimes you say, you think you've been through some shit, and you say it to someone and you're embarrassed after they tell you what they've been through. Shit, all this time I thought I'd been through something.
So the new album, E3
Af.
What is that?
Af.
Is that
Af.
swear words?
No, African.
Is that
E3 African?
So what does that mean then? E3?
E3 African. The AF is just abbreviated.
Is that?
Like back in the day, like if someone saw Africa, they call them Af. In my area, Af, or you had a Jamaican, a Jamo, we call it Af. Yeah.
So where's the inspiration from this album come?
A lot of it's. I made an album that's like I produced a lot of it, so it's back to me on the beats, like the early grime shit, original old school DIZZEE RASCAL. That's what they're saying, old school DIZZEE. They separate the two in it. But so me making beats, but then I've got a lot of MCs on it, so it's like me back to bars basically. So everything from
old school DIZZEE.
Yeah, I know it's mad. I'm 35. I don't see old school DIZZEE. I'm just DIZZEE, innit? Whatever, and they separate it. Like, you see, like you got the Beatles fans or the Elvis fans. They've got different eras of their fans, innit? Like I feel like I've got fans. You've got fans who like all my shit, and there's some fans who they don't fuck with that shit. They make a point of saying no, not that DIZZEE. I have to deal with that. But so then I've got everyone from Gets, Kano, Chip, P Money, Frisco, DWE, all them people. So you know what kind of album it's gonna be. It's bars, like back to back. So it's wicked to work with all those people.
You nervous?
Yeah, man. Nah, I'm not nervous now. Now I've got the first video out now. And now it's done.
Is that with Chipmunk?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the stuff I'm more anxious about, because I produced so much of it. It's just that bass ain't cutting through like I want it to. Like, it's not like them old jungle records, man. Like, just stuff like that. I already know that we're coming, like, it's a whole new, there's so much art, there's so much new rap, new artists that I listen to. I do go on Grand Daily every day and I see what's out. So, and I listen to it, especially the young driller youths, I listen to it. So I already know that there's I'm not trying to compete with them necessarily. So, and I know I've got a strong fan base, strong, loyal fan base of people from all creeds, colours or demographics or whatever, that just want to hear some new shit, and I've got it for them. It's a nice balance, because I've still got the upbeat shit. Like even the track I was telling you about that was inspired by me watching your interview with
Glenn Tamplin.
Yeah, it's a track called "You Don't Know." It's like a garagey thing. What is a garage tune? That I actually got the beat because I was in Switzerland one day, and when I come off the flight, the guy introduced himself to me, and his name's Decline. And then I didn't know him, but he explained to me, he made the song, I Don't Smoke the Reefer. And I was like, oh shit, sometimes people have to explain to me what tune they made, innit? I was like, oh, okay. So then we started working, but that was like years ago. But then he gave me this beat. I had it for a while, but weren't sure about it. But then one day, I was just sitting down, I think I was in the studio at home, and I was just watching YouTube. So I just sit and just watch YouTube. And then your thing come on. I don't even know why I clicked on it. And I just watched the whole thing, and there was a part when he was talking about, he was in the club, it was P. Diddy, after P. Diddy times and that, and he was popping bottles and doing all that. And it reminded me like of when I first did all that. And I know the era he's talking about because of his age, and I know that I came directly behind that. So I still saw all of that. I saw China Whites, I saw Faces, and all them places that I've in my mind, I know what he's talking about. So then it reminded me, inspired me, and then part of that is in the verse that I wrote. It became a big part of the tune. That it gave me the juice to add that part of it on that. So that was good.
Yeah, I fucking love that, mate. That you've watched one of my podcasts and got a bit of inspiration from it.
Like for real, because I had the beat for a while.
Yeah, class.
So that's it.
What do you think the state of like grime is now? Do you think there's a lot of good boys coming through, a lot of good artists?
As far as grime, it's not at the forefront of the charts or like mainstream right now, but I think it's been so influential even to the wherever, a lot of the drill scene or even a lot of the Afro swing guys. A lot of them were grime MCs at one point. Yeah. And just moved on to other shit, and that's what's worked for them. Yeah. Like, just like I didn't know that a song with Armand Van Helden would probably be my biggest song maybe. It's arguable that Bonkers is my biggest tune. Yeah. You try something new and that's what ends up taking off. I think that's what happened with a lot of the guys that are popping right now. I reckon a lot of them were into grime, but that's not what took them to the top. Yeah, of course, you've got to utilise it to the advantage. Look at Stormzy and that, working with Ed Sheeran, and it opens doors, man, and I believe it's good business, it's good music, and same as like Bugsy Malone. What do you think of like, the beef in that? I know Wiley's the king of beef, like him and he's not the king of beef.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? He's always. What do you think about like him and Stormzy? Do you think that's good for grime to get more traffic towards it?
I don't even care. if I'm honest, innit? Yeah, I don't even care.
So for DIZZEE Rascal, 7th album coming out, what's your plans for the future?
Another album. After this,
Greedy bastard.
Yeah, so I'll keep going, man. Like I said, I'm obsessed. This is still my hobby. So I'll still learn about music. I'll still learn about music all the time. I sit and watch documentaries. I sit and like little dumb things. Like it might not be interesting to some viewers. Like okay, I didn't know that the 909 drum kit it was invented and then it got utilised by a bunch of people in Chicago because it was cheap because it hadn't sold very well. So that's why they were able to buy it so cheap in those ghettos, and a whole fucking genre was born out of that, which was house music. Yeah. I'm 35, I learned that this week. I knew what house music was, but I didn't know those little details. So what I'm basically saying, there's so much for me to still learn. Like, you know what I mean? Shit like that. Today, whatever, I just, in the car on the way to you, I just saw, what was that? What's that telephonic, what are they called? Oh, Technotronic. I just see the Pump Up the Jam video for the first time in my life. I knew
Pump
the tune.
Up the Jam?
I've never seen the video before.
It's a fucking weird video. It's like acid. It's like somebody's tripping balls.
You see what I'm saying? But I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
Like, just little things like that. I know it sounds like I'm straying away from the point, but my point is there's so much to still learn. So I'm going to continue to keep making music because I just keep getting inspiration from all the stuff that's just out there.
Yeah, there's so much we're constantly learning. I know you're big on social media, you're massive, but you don't really interact with it.
Nah.
I think it fucks with your mind. Why is that? Why do you do that though?
I think it gets in the way, man. I think it gets in the way. It's not. You don't always need to know what people got to say to you. It feels like it's not as intense in person. Like people see you, it's easy. It's like, what's going on? Yo, Dizzy, what's going on, brother? You cool? You want a picture? All right, cool with it. Sometimes you want a picture. Sometimes I don't want to take a picture for whatever reason. Whatever. It's 7 a.m. I'm on the airport. I'm hungry. I ain't eating yet. Or whatever. Or I'm just in a bad mood because someone pissed me off and I don't feel like taking a picture right now. I'm not being rude. It just is where it is, isn't it?
Can't be asked.
But you're just rude anyway by default. So you're a cunt then, innit? Like, so, but you navigate that. That's cool. The majority of the time, I'm nice to everyone and people are nice. But online, sometimes it just gets in the way, man. Like the shit people say, like it's like people look for shit to be pissed off about, and then just go mad in the comment section.
Yeah, people can be nasty bastards.
It's easy to there on thing,
behind the screen. Yeah, for me, they're pussies, man. They're just fucking weak legs.
When you're outside there, what do you see? When you're driving about, what do you see? People minding their own damn business, staying the fuck out of each other's way. That's what the real world's like, innit? But obviously, stuff from that it spills into the real world. It can do, innit? It can cause problems. But I've definitely, especially because I've got an album coming, I've definitely obviously made more effort to be a bit more
interact a bit more. Yeah, it's business as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. There are a lot of good interactions. These people that have been to old shows or people that remind you of stuff that you fully forgot. Like, right, oh, that show or that little, like those things are there, they're gems. Like, but sometimes you have to go through a bunch of stuff or whatever. Or people reminding you like of some shit that you don't even need to know about as well. Like, or people to do some shit that you did when you were 17. Like, and to an extent I can. Like I said, I've got songs on here, beats on here that will sound similar or the same energy as I did when I was 17, but I can't be 17 again. So
but you became successful before social media. A lot of people can be successful just by fucking releasing a video on Instagram or YouTube.
Right.
It's a weird different success, but you did that. How was your work ethic then? Was it non-stop because you never had the social media to utilise as an advantage?
There was less media. I guess it was more TV and radio then, innit? And then just, pirate radio was our first social media because that's what brought people together. People were listening live. But the thing is, maybe it was easier because we didn't know, there was no number. It feels like everyone, even me, it feels like you're chasing the numbers game now. So that adds to the anxiety. How many views? How many likes? How many, what the fuck is that? We were on radio going mad, spitting our hearts out and don't even know if 30 people were listening.
Yeah.
And it was great. And then that's what elevated us to the raves. And that's what elevated us, whatever, record labels signing us and then taking it out. All this, I feel like a lot of this shit just gets in the way unnecessarily. But we just, you know what? I guess it's just how, whatever people felt when music videos came in. So some people that didn't want to take to it, okay, it's a similar thing. It's just adjustment. So it's more about having to adjust. That's more important than me whatever, moaning about, fucking, I don't want to do that. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's an adjustment. Like,
yeah, it's what it is. And we've just got to fucking try and utilise everything to our advantage.
To be fair though, like, I did spaz a little bit. Like those, like I said, those years where I was out enjoying myself, I think that's probably where I actually grew my Instagram following. Yeah, because I was wilding, man. I was showing shit that I wouldn't usually show. Yeah. I was getting excited and I built up all sorts of shit like that just at the time because you're out there. It's a different culture out there. There's stuff that's just a bit more acceptable out there, and there's more almost mainstream culture out there than it is here. But like, if I'm in a fucking strip club, eating chicken, getting whatever massive us in front of me, filming it out there in 2 a.m. It's cool, innit?
Yeah.
But it's 8 a.m. in England. That's the first thing people see.
Arse and chicken.
And sometimes it's kids, and it's that thought process that like, oh shit, actually, nah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So I toned it down.
Yeah, because you're a role model as well. People are looking for you as the answers, as inspiration.
Apparently, yeah. Every now and then I remind them that I ain't got the answers. You know? I'm still looking.
So for your next, you going to try and do an album straight away for next year?
I've already started.
Any big names coming on that? Can't say.
I can, man. I've got a little something with Noel Gallagher.
Oh, that'll
And
be
J.
fucking
Cole.
legendary.
Yeah. So I'm just right now it's being mixed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one. And the rest I'm just experimenting. I bought a bunch of new keyboards, bunch of new hardware, and just experimenting. So I'm coming up with stuff, writing bits, recorded a few bits. But like I said, this album ain't even out. By the time this one comes, this album
Get you back on again
yeah.
anyway.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Of course.
Before we finish up, we'll touch on a couple of things. Glastonbury headline. It must be happening now.
You'd think, innit?
Yeah.
You'd think, man, if we all them festivals, man, I put the groundwork in for like all these MCs, like really, because I was at all these festivals when they definitely had no faith in UK rappers or MCs. Like there was definitely, don't get me wrong, there was some other UK rappers around. That was almost its own thing. It's almost like a separate thing. But as far as carrying a show to a massive crowd, like show after show, like yeah, I did that from like 14, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've done Glastonbury so many times. And there's a couple times where I should have been the headliner, but they put me the one just before. Yeah. Again, because they have the faith, or maybe whoever it is, the same time maybe they're thinking they're trying to sell tickets and who's going to be the bigger draw. But there's one year where Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think, dropped out, and they replaced them with the Gorillas instead of putting me up. And it's like, you could have just like put me in that slot there because I've got this. My show is a headline show. It doesn't matter where we are because just there's too many bangers. It's just too jammed with too many bangers, and we give it 1,000%. It's just a headline show with it's just
to get
normal,
the fucking crowd walking away in a high.
That's what we do. Like, that's what it is. And every now and then, sometimes you're gonna have a show that wasn't as good as you wanted it to be for whatever reason. But come on, man.
Yeah, it'll happen. Fucking get the fingers out.
But if it doesn't happen, so what?
Yeah.
It's like
but you've still been on the main stage, but being second last, it's like finishing second
it's like being
in a
second
race.
Man on the moon, innit? Oh yeah, I was the second man on the moon. Like, what? No one made a film about the second man on the moon, did they?
It will happen. It will definitely happen. Cool. Last question, brother. I know because of like coronavirus and all this shit.
Yeah.
For like festivals and stuff, you're still doing a lot of headlining stuff, but it's drive-through, is it?
No, that one got cancelled as well. It just went on Piers Morgan for no reason. Good Morning Britain.
Did it? You got everything cancelled. So do you think everything will be back next year then where people can enjoy a concert, or do you think musicians
I honestly
can struggle?
don't know, man. Hopefully you can, innit? But I don't know how you're going to have a festival with I don't know, say 80,000 people, or even one of the smaller ones, 30,000 people, 2 meters apart.
Yeah. Good luck. 1,000 fucking people there.
Or 30,000 people there. Yeah. So like, okay, how's that gonna work, innit?
Yeah.
Like, and then I almost like, I wouldn't want to have to go through all those things, like go through like a bunch of testing before I go to a festival to get. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully things can move forward. But DIZZEE, for coming on today, brother, and telling your story, it's been unbelievable.